Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel A in Economist. Today's session is going to be a little different. We will take up a very interesting case study today, why economists love Uber. Now, whenever we talk about the economist's point of view, we not only take into account the consumer's perspective, but we also want to know the seller's perspective, the market's perspective, as well as the global perspective. And that is what we are going to do in this particular session. We will see how Uber services is beneficial for multiple entities of the economy. So let's get started. Before taking up the reasoning, first let us know some of the quick facts of Uber. Uber Technologies was founded in the year 2009 and in 2015 it became the world's most valuable startup. It is the largest ride-sharing company worldwide with over 150 million active monthly users and 6 million active drivers, right? So it's a multinational company worldwide with worldwide reach, right? Third point is that you can request a ride with Uber in more than 600 cities worldwide. So it's the numbers showing that the reach of Uber is massive, right? Next point is that Uber's disruptive business model. This is something we are going to discuss later on in our session. Explosive growth and constant controversies have made it one of the most fascinating companies to emerge in late 2000s. And this might seem a little fascinating to you that Uber's first CEO is a college dropout. His name is Travis Kalanick, right? You can learn about him if you find him fascinating. Okay. Now let us talk about how Uber ensures market efficiency. So our first 2 points will be regarding the market's point of view and how Uber is beneficial for the market as a whole. Here we will talk about something called the dynamic pricing. What is dynamic pricing? Suppose you want to book a Uber in the rush hours. Suppose you are trying to open the app and book the cab in the office hours, say. So what you will see, the prices that you will see will be very high, right? Whereas if you book the cab in the regular hours, the prices will be relatively lesser. And this is something called the dynamic pricing. Uber operates on dynamic pricing, which is also known as the surge pricing. What is surge pricing? It means it adjusts the fares based on the real-time demand and supply conditions, right? So economists really appreciate this because it helps in the allocation of resources in an efficient manner. Why this is so? When the demand for the rides increase, higher prices will incentivize more drivers to offer their services, ensuring that passengers can get rides even during the peak hours. So this dynamic efficiency ensures the efficient allocation of resource, so it is good from the market's point of view. The second thing what we will discuss is the reduction of deadweight loss. What is deadweight loss? Deadweight loss is a cost to the society that occurs when the supply and demand for the good or a service are out of equilibrium. They don't match. Either you have excess supply in the market or you have excess demand in the market. In this particular situation, the society has to bear the cost for that, resulting in the loss of economic efficiency. So what Uber does is that it reduces that deadweight loss. Traditional taxi markets often suffer from this deadweight loss, whereas fixed prices are charged, right? If you go to board a traditional taxi, they will have fixed prices that lead to either excess supply, that is drivers are waiting for the passengers, or excess demand, that is passengers are unable to find rides. So this problem appears in our day-to-day life. Uber pricing model reduces this efficiency by aligning prices that are more closely related to demand. So that is also a result of surge pricing. I hope this is understood. Now let's talk about from the consumer's point of view, how Uber maintains consumer welfare. The first point will be the increased availability. Uber's model increases the availability of rides by attracting more drivers during the times of high demand. So these all are the consequences of the dynamic pricing or the surge pricing that we have discussed. This reduces the wait time and makes transportation more reliable to the consumer. So it's very good from the consumer's point of view. Second point is the better consumer experience. Uber offers a more user-friendly experience compared to traditional taxis. Features like cashless payments, driver ratings, and GPS tracking improve the overall service quality and safety of the passengers. Next, talk about from the innovation and competition point of view, disrupting the taxi industry. Uber introduced competition in a market traditionally dominated by the regulated taxi services who used to charge fixed prices for their service. This competition forces traditional taxi services to innovate and to improve their offerings, ultimately benefiting the consumers, right? So in this way, Uber has disrupted the taxi industry. So they are now forced to better their services and innovate new techniques for, enhancing the consumer's experience. The fourth point will be the economies of scale. Uber's platform benefits from the network services, that the value of the service increases as more drivers and the passengers use the platform, right? This is what we call as the network service, and this scale allows Uber to operate more efficiently and offer competitive prices. Next, we talk about from the labor's point of view or the cab driver's point of view. Gig economic benefits. What is that? Uber provides flexible work opportunities and allows drivers to choose when and how much they want to work. This flexibility is particularly attractive to those who value work-life balance and need supplemental income, right? So workers have not fixed working hours, but the flexible working opportunities, which is a good thing. The next point says efficient use of idle resource. Uber allows individuals to monetize their vehicles and the time that might otherwise be idle, contributing to a more efficient use of the resources in the economy. So when they are not, giving service to Uber, they can monetize their vehicles and they can take their own rides and, have some income from that also. So that is also efficient use of the idle resource, which is good for the flexibility of the labor market. So cab drivers are also happy with the Uber company. The next point to take into account is the data-driven decision making. Utilization of big data. Uber uses data analytics to optimize the routes, to predict the demand and set prices. Economists appreciate how this data-driven approach improves the efficiency and provides insights into the consumer behavior. So Uber uses big data and take decisions analyzing a huge database system that will optimize their routes, that will predict the demand and also set the prices for them efficiently. Then finally we have the global impact, scalability and global reach. Uber's business model is scalable. So we have seen that they have millions of active users worldwide and they are spread across 600 cities around the world. So this business is scalable and has been implemented in various countries around the world. The global expansion demonstrates the adaptability of the market-based solutions and different economic environments. So it's a very profitable business which has global reach. Finally, we can, summarize everything in the nutshell. So Uber is helpful for the market. It's good for the market. Why? Because it implements dynamic pricing and reduces deadweight loss. It is good for the consumers because it increases availability and better consumer experience is also been ensured. Thirdly, it is good for the Uber drivers because Uber ensures the work-life balance for the drivers and they can also use the idle resource, so they can monetize their vehicle and get some additional income from that. And it is good for the overall taxi industry in the global market because there is a scope of innovation, scalability and use of big data, right? So it's time to conclude. First point will be economists love Uber because it illustrates the power of the market forces to improve efficiency, to increase consumer welfare and to drive innovation. So we have seen the point of view of Adam Smith, who tells us that if you let the market be as it is, then there will be an invisible hand mechanism operative which will ensure the market efficiency. That is what we are seeing here, that if you adjust prices according to the demand and supply conditions of the market, then the market will take care of itself. You don't need any additional intervention from anywhere, right? So Uber operates on that principle. So economists love Uber, particularly classical economists love Uber, right? The second point is that Uber platform addresses many of the inefficiencies present in the traditional taxi markets, offering a example of how technology can enhance the economic outcome. So this is one of the main points that economists love about Uber, that it uses advanced cutting edge technologies so that it can fill up the gaps of the traditional taxi markets. And the third thing to note here is that, however, the case also raises important questions about regulation, labor rights, and the role of the government in managing the disruptive innovation. So basically, government may have a role in managing, the taxi services which are affected for the disruptive innovation. So if the taxi market fails, then government has to provide them with some support to, revive again. So the role of government is still present, but not in ensuring the market efficiency, but to support the traditional services in the form of taxi, right? So that's all for this session. I hope that you find this case study helpful. And if you have any questions, any doubts regarding this, you can post me in the comment section. And thanks for your time. If you find this video helpful, you can give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, because that motivates us to put up this valuable content to you, right? So thank you, and let's see in the next lecture.